What kind of person fakes a life-threatening illness just to ruin someone's livelihood? In the heart of a bustling small town, where the scent of fresh coffee and warm bread wafts through the air, a storm is brewing inside Lila's Bistro. Karen HOA, a woman whose presence commands attention for all the wrong reasons, strides in with a scowl that could curdle milk. Her loud voice cuts through the cozy hum of the cafe, demanding a table despite the lunch rush. The server, Emily, a 19-year-old with dreams bigger than her paycheck, hurries to accommodate her. Karen's eyes scan the menu with a predatory glint, already plotting something sinister. She orders a salmon salad, her tone dripping with condescension, as if the bistro's existence offends her. Emily, nervous but professional, nods and scurries to the kitchen, unaware that this moment will spark a chain of events that will change lives. Karen's meal arrives, and for a fleeting moment, the bistro feels peaceful. Patrons chat softly, forks clink against plates, and sunlight streams through the windows. Then, like a thunderclap, Karen lets out a dramatic wail. She clutches her stomach, her face contorted in exaggerated agony, and accuses the bistro of serving her tainted food. Her voice rises, drawing every eye in the room. This place is a death trap. She shrieks, pointing at Emily, who freezes, her tray trembling in her hands. Karen's performance is Oscar-worthy stumbles, feigning weakness, and demands the manager. The other patrons, a retired teacher named Clara and her husband Tom, exchange uneasy glances, unsure whether to believe the spectacle. Emily, her face pale, tries to explain that the food is fresh, but Karen drowns her out, claiming she's on the verge of collapse from food poisoning. The manager, Sam, a no-nonsense man in his 40s, steps in, his brow furrowed. He's seen his share of complaints, but Karen's theatrics are next level. She insists on a full refund, free meals for life, and threatens to sue, her voice booming like a courtroom gavel. Sam, calm but firm, offers to comp her meal and investigate, but Karen escalates, accusing the bistro of negligence. She pulls out her phone, pretending to call her lawyer, and snaps photos of her half-eaten salad as evidence. Emily, now on the verge of tears, feels the weight of Karen's accusations. This job is her lifeline, funding her college dreams, and one bad review could tank the bistro's reputation. The air is thick with tension, and Clara whispers to Tom, "Something's not right about her." Then comes the twist, as Karen rants. A regular customer, Jake, a quiet IT guy who always sits in the corner with his laptop, overhears everything. He's been tinkering with the bistro's new security system, a favor for Sam. Jake's eyes narrow as he watches Karen's performance, noticing something odd. Her plate has barely been touched, yet she claims to be violently ill. He slips to the back, pulls up the security footage, and discovers something shocking. Earlier that morning, Karen was seen in the alley behind the bistro, tampering with her own food, sprinkling something from a small vial onto her salad before entering. Jake's heart races. He stumbled onto proof that Karen's illness is a lie. He quietly alerts Sam, who nods, his face hardening with resolve. They decide to keep this discovery under wraps for now, letting Karen dig her own grave. The confrontation escalates as Sam asks Karen to describe her symptoms in detail. She stumbles, her story inconsistent. First it's nausea, then dizziness, then a rash that magically disappears when pressed for proof. Emily, regaining her composure, points out that the salmon is sourced fresh daily, and no one else has complained. Karen's face reddens, her arrogance faltering, but she doubles down, accusing Emily of lying. The other patrons start murmuring, some siding with Karen out of fear, others skeptical. Clara, the retired teacher, speaks up, her voice steady. "I've eaten here for years, and I've never been sick." Karen shoots her a venomous glare, but the tide is shifting. Sam, now armed with Jake's discovery, decides it's time to turn the tables. Sam steps forward, his voice calm but laced with steel. He asks Karen to stay while he reviews the situation, gesturing for her to sit. She huffs, crossing her arms, confident she's won. But behind the scenes, Jake is pulling up the damning footage on a tablet. The bistro's atmosphere crackles with anticipation, like a courtroom before a verdict. Emily, still shaken, serves other customers, her hands trembling but her resolve growing. She's not just fighting for her job now, she's fighting for the truth. Sam returns, tablet in hand, and asks Karen to explain the footage. Her smug expression falters as he describes what they've seen, her tampering with the food in the alley. Karen's eyes widen, but she recovers quickly, scoffing. "That's ridiculous. You're making it up." Sam doesn't flinch. He turns the tablet to show the crystal-clear footage. There she is, in grainy but undeniable detail, pouring a suspicious powder onto her salad. The bistro falls silent. Clara gasps, and Tom shakes his head in disbelief. Karen's face drains of color, her bravado crumbling. She stammers, claiming it was just seasoning. But the lie is flimsy. Sam presses further, asking why she felt the need to season her food in an alley. The other patrons lean in, their skepticism turning to outrage. Karen's voice rises, shrill and defensive, but her words are drowned out by the weight of the evidence. Emily, watching from behind the counter, feels a surge of vindication. This isn't just about her, it's about justice for every small business targeted by fraud. The twist deepens. Jake reveals a second discovery. While reviewing the footage, he noticed Karen's car parked nearby, its license plate visible. A quick online search done discreetly on his laptop shows Karen has a history of similar stunts at other local businesses. Reviews on Yelp and Google mention her by name, accusing her of faking complaints for freebies or lawsuits. She's been banned from 2 cafes and a bakery already. Jake shares this with Sam, who realizes Karen isn't just a one-time troublemaker, she's a serial scammer. This revelation hits Emily hard. She thinks of her co-workers, struggling to keep the bistro afloat, and the countless others Karen has hurt. The stakes are higher now. This isn't just about one meal or one lie, it's about stopping a predator. The confrontation reaches its peak as Sam publicly calls Karen out. He doesn't yell. His calm delivery is more devastating. "Ms. HOA," he says, "we have evidence of you tampering with your food. And we know this isn't your first time." He lists the other businesses, each name a nail in her coffin. Karen's face twists in fury, but she's cornered. She tries to storm out, but Tom, the retired teacher's husband, blocks the doorknot aggressively, but firmly, saying, "You owe them an explanation." The bistro feels like a pressure cooker, every eye on Karen. She lashes out, calling the footage fake, but her words ring hollow. The patrons, once unsure, now see her for what she is. Emily steps forward, her voice steady for the first time. "Why would you do this to us?" she asks, her eyes locked on Karen's. It's not just a question, it's a challenge. Karen's defiance cracks. She mutters something about teaching them a lesson. But her story unravels. The footage is too clear. The pattern too obvious. Sam announces he's contacting the authorities and other local businesses to warn them. Karen's eyes dart to the door. But there's no escape. The bistro, once her stage, is now her trap. Clara, the retired teacher, speaks again, her voice heavy with disappointment. "You've hurt good people for nothing." The words hit Karen like a slap. And for a moment, her mask slips, revealing not just arrogance but a flicker of shame. But it's fleeting. She doubles down, vowing to sue, even as her credibility lies in tatters. The fallout is swift and merciless. Sam, true to his word, calls the police, who arrive quietly but firmly. Karen's protests grow frantic as an officer reviews the footage and takes statements from Emily, Jake, and the patrons. The evidence is overwhelming: security footage, witness accounts, and Karen's own inconsistent story. She's escorted out, still shouting about lawsuits, but her threats lack bite. The bistro patrons watch in silence, a mix of relief and disgust on their faces. Emily, exhausted but unbowed, feels a weight lift. She's not just a server anymore, she's a fighter who stood up to a bully. Sam pats her shoulder, his eyes proud. "You handled this like a pro," he says. And for the first time all day, she smiles. The legal consequences hit Karen hard. The police charge her with fraud and tampering, minor offenses that carry major repercussions. Local business owners, alerted by Sam, add her to a shared blacklist, ensuring she can't pull the same stunt again. Online, the story spreads like wildfire. Jake, with Sam's permission, posts the footage on social media, careful to blur Karen's face but not her actions. The video goes viral, captioned "Justice at Lila's Bistro." Comments pour in, praising the bistro's integrity and condemning Karen's deceit. Emily reads them late at night, her heart swelling with pride. The bistro's reputation, once at risk, emerges stronger than ever, with new customers flocking to support a place that stood its ground. But the real victory isn't in Karen's downfall, it's in what comes after. Emily, inspired by the ordeal, starts a blog about her experience, sharing stories of other small businesses targeted by scammers. Her words resonate, sparking a local movement to protect mom-and-pop shops. Clara and Tom become regulars, bringing friends to the bistro, turning it into a community hub. Jake upgrades the security system for free, his quiet heroism earning him a free coffee for life. Sam, reflecting on the chaos, realizes his team is more than employees' theory family. The bistro, once just a job for Emily, becomes a symbol of resilience, a place where truth triumphed over lies. Karen, meanwhile, fades into obscurity. The blacklist ensures her scams are over, and the viral video haunts her every attempt to start fresh. She moves to another town, but the internet never forgets. Her story becomes a cautionary tale, whispered among business owners: don't mess with Lila's Bistro. For Emily, the experience is transformative. She enrolls in a business course, determined to one day open her own cafe, where honesty and community come first. on her last shift before college. She looks around the bistro, now bustling with laughter, and feels a spark of hope. The world is full of Karens, but it's also full of people like Sam, Jake, Clara, and herself, people who fight for what's right, no matter the odds. And that, she knows, is a story worth telling.